So this was September 4th of 2025. And in my dream, I knew something had taken place in America. Now, I didn't know what, but I could see the concern, the frustration, and despair growing on the faces of the people in America. Several voices started to grumble and complain in the dream. And then I saw Donald Trump. I began to overhear the complaints, and it was being communicated that these people, I mean, I don't know who it was, but it was just like I could hear conversations everywhere. They were grumbling and complaining, and they had somehow believed that we will never see justice fully come in the land, and that true justice will never come. And I knew that Trump was hearing all of these complaints. It was like I'm hearing them, they're all over the place, and Trump's aware of it. And he was hearing these complaints and the disappointment, the despair, the unbelief as well. I then saw in the dream, I saw Donald Trump look into my eyes very seriously. And, and as a side note, over the years, I don't know, this happens on occasion where I'll have this face-to-face moment with Donald Trump. And, it's like, I know these dreams are very significant when this happens. And I know it's like basically the Lord allowing me to see into something that maybe the rest of the public is unaware of. And it's like Trump is communicating something to me that he knows, but maybe most people don't know. So that was kind of the sense I got. So he looked into my eyes very seriously, and with an intensity, he said, "Oh, so they don't think justice will come?" And then he said, "I tell you the truth. The full justice that everyone longs to see is going to come, and it is going to take their breath away." I felt such a deep commitment in his words, a commitment to justice, that I knew that he was telling the truth, and that getting the justice that the American people both need and deserve is the very core mission and the reason he is sitting as our president. And then I knew in that moment that Trump's desire for justice is even more intense and committed than many of us who have been waiting for over 8 years, and some of us for even longer, but at least 8 years for it to unfold. I then saw that Donald Trump began to ramp up and speed up the process, and he was determined to make sure that the people's desire for justice, specifically against the works of the deep state, was fully satisfied. So that was the end of that dream. And if we want to pull up Luke 18, 7-8 real quick. "And shall not God avenge his own elect, which cry day and night unto him, though he bear long with them? I tell you the truth, that he will avenge them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man cometh, shall he find faith on the earth?" And so, I wanted to bring that up because I really do believe that God's committed to justice. And I think that we need to be reminded. Let me back up and just say this dream came just prior to the Charlie Kirk assassination. I don't know what the event was, but my suspicion is that maybe that event in the dream was a preview of the event that took place at Charlie Kirk. Maybe there's more big events to come in our nation, and this applies to that as well. But I do believe that God was saying that, when you see this kind of traumatic injustice take place, and we're not seeing, and then you're also seeing all this exposure coming to the surface of all of this corruption, of all of these different things, and you're not seeing the full weight of justice yet. There's something lacking. There's something that's growing in the heart of Americans, and they're saying, "Give us justice." And I want to just say right now, I felt that same fire when I looked into the eyes of Donald Trump, and he is committed to it. And even more than he is committed to it, the Lord himself is committed to it, because the foundation of the throne of the Lord is righteousness and justice. And here's the deal, people of God, we need to pray and not give up. You know, that was that parable in Luke 18, and what I just read, it was the Lord giving a parable to tell the people to always pray and not give up. Why? Because he says, I am coming to avenge. I am coming to bring a speedy justice. You know, and by the way, if you haven't figured it out, God is not into the fast food sort of quick in, you know, plug in and get out. It's like a process. It takes a while, but the promise is, according to the Lord, it is a speedy justice when my people call out day and night. And I do believe that was the word from Donald Trump in that dream. I believe it was the Holy Spirit saying, it's coming. And by the way, when you see it unfold, it's going to take your breath away. Why? Because, and then I'll let you say this. Why is it going to take your breath away? Because we have never in America seen the kind of, at least probably for several generations, we've never seen the kind of justice that is coming. And let me just say, I believe that the Lord, working in tandem with the government, Trump's administration and the military, I believe by design, the people are being allowed to see the corruption, the lies, the horrific injustice without seeing the justice done on behalf of it. Why? Because it is creating this intense fire in the hearts of the people, where we're rising up and we're saying, give us justice. And here is where we're at.